In a tranquil village nestled between lush green valleys, there stood an ancient monastery. This monastery was renowned not just for its serene beauty, but also for housing Brother Anselm, a monk as wise as he was kind. What set Brother Anselm apart was not just his wisdom, but his unyielding belief in the power of positivity. One sunny morning, Brother Anselm gathered the villagers under the grand old oak tree that stood in the monastery's courtyard. His eyes sparkled with warmth as he began to speak. Dear friends, in the vines of our lives, positivity is the sweetest fruit. It's not always easy to pluck, but it is always worth the effort. The villagers, young and old, listened intently. Seeing the skepticism on some faces, Anselm chose to illustrate his point through a simple story. Once, he began, there was a farmer in a neighboring village who faced a terrible drought. Despite his crops wilting, every day, without fail, he attended to his fields with tender care and a hopeful heart. Once when asked why he bothered with those barren lands, he simply said, "My heart remains fertile, and perhaps one day, the rains will honor my hope." And indeed, as if by some miracle, soon after the skies opened up, nourishing his fields, making them bloom more gloriously than ever before. The villagers were silent, the story resonating with their own struggles and hopes. Brother Anselm, sensing an opportunity to plant a seed of change, continued, "Positivity, my friends, is not just about smiling through adversity. It's about steadfast belief in a brighter tomorrow, an invulnerable faith in the goodness around and within us." One young girl, inspired by his words, asked, "But Brother Anselm, how do we remain positive when things are tough?" He smiled gently. "Ah, dear child, it's like tending to that inner garden. Start each day with a moment of gratitude, lend help to those who struggle, and nurture your mind with kindness and hope. In doing so, you not only enrich your own life, but become a beacon for others." Inspired by Brother Anselm's wisdom, the villagers returned to their homes with lighter hearts and a newfound determination to face their own adversities. As days turned to months, the village itself seemed to glow with the power of positivity, a testament to the monk's gentle yet powerful lesson. In a secluded monastery atop the misty mountains of Tibet, there lived a monk named Tashi. Tashi was known for his gentle spirit and serene smile that never seemed to fade, not even in the harshest of winters. His fellow monks often wondered how he maintained such tranquility in a world filled with turmoil. One chilly evening, a young novice named Lobsang approached Tashi with a heavy heart. "Master Tashi," he began, his voice trembling, "I am troubled. No matter how hard I meditate or study, feelings of doubt and sadness cloud my mind." Tashi looked at Lobsang with kindness and said, "Come, my child, let us take a walk around the monastery grounds." As they walked, Tashi began to share his story. "Many years ago, when I was about your age," he started, "I too struggled with such feelings. But then, I met an old farmer who taught me a valuable lesson." He paused, gazing at the horizon where the sun began its ascent, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. "The farmer told me," Tashi continued, "that happiness and peace are like the sun. They exist for everyone, but not all can see them because of the clouds that pass through their skies. The clouds," he said, "represent negative thoughts and emotions. Most people fail to realize that clouds are temporal and ever-changing." Lobsang listened intently, the weight of his troubles momentarily lightened by Tashi's soothing words. "From that day," Tashi concluded, "I chose to focus on the sun rather than the clouds, the positivity and goodness that life always offers. Being mindful of this choice transformed my life. Even when clouds gather, I remember that they will pass and reveal the sun once more." Lobsang nodded slowly, the message sinking into his heart. He realized that his struggles were just passing clouds, and by focusing on the sunshine of positivity, he could find peace and happiness. The dawn light shimmered over the monastery as Lobsang bade Tashi good night with a newfound hope. From that day onward, Lobsang devoted himself to seeing beyond the clouds, embracing the power of positivity. Tashi watched him walk away, knowing that the seeds of wisdom had been planted, ready to blossom in their own time. As the monastery bells chimed, Tashi returned to his meditation, a silent guardian of the light he had shared with yet another soul. In a quaint monastery nestled in the serene mountains, there lived a young monk named Tenzin. Tenzin was known for his kind heart and gentle demeanor, yet there was one thing that shadowed his bright spirit: his tendency to dwell on the negative aspects of life. He often found himself lost in thoughts of what could go wrong rather than seeing the beauty of what was. One day, an elder monk named Master Ling noticed Tenzin's troubled heart. "Tenzin," Master Ling said while they sat together in the tranquil garden, "do you know that the mind is like a garden? Whatever you plant grows. If you plant negativity, you'll reap worry and despair. But if you plant positivity, you'll harvest joy and peace." Intrigued yet skeptical, Tenzin asked Master Ling, "How can I plant positivity in my heart when the world seems so ripe with suffering and conflict?" Master Ling smiled gently. "Ah, my dear Tenzin, focus on the seeds, not the thorns. For every problem you face, there is an opportunity to see beyond it. Try it for a week. Whenever a negative thought enters your mind, acknowledge it, then counter it with a positive one." Taking his master's advice to heart, Tenzin started his week anew. On the first day, a storm ravaged the monastery gardens, but instead of losing hope over the ruined flowers, Tenzin reminded himself that the rain was also nurturing the earth and bringing fresh growth. As the days turned into a week, Tenzin began to notice a transformation. His once heavy heart felt lighter, and a sense of peace slowly enveloped him. Fellow monks noted the change and were inspired by his newfound aura of positivity. On the seventh day, Master Ling approached Tenzin amidst the bustling monastery kitchen where volunteers were preparing a meal for villagers. "What have you learned, Tenzin?" asked Master Ling with an encouraging nod. Tenzin responded with a beaming smile. "I've learned that the power of positivity doesn't just bring peace to one's heart. It is contagious. It multiplies and lifts others as well." Master Ling nodded, his eyes twinkling with pride. "Remember, Tenzin, positivity is not denying the difficulties, but choosing to see the potential in them. Life itself is beautiful when you look at it through the lens of gratitude and hope." With this newfound wisdom, Tenzin continued his journey, spreading the light of positivity wherever his path led him, reminding others that the seeds of happiness were always within their reach.